guys, welcome to our Friday stack lunch, or I think one of our students called it a lunch bag critique. So, fine arts critique, sketching, shading, cross-hatching, and pointillism. I just have to figure out how to make this thing work now. Ta-da! There we go. So, welcome to our week 2 critique, and I know it's not week 2, but we're kind of lagging behind a week due to some issues that we had. Announce the blog assignment winners. Okay, so this is just basically a little overview of what we're going to do in the critique. I just am going to send you that reminder about following someone above you and below you on the blog list. And I probably should get I need to get my address posted in there so everybody has access to that. If you put my address in there on your list of links, then you can just go and visit my blog anytime and find everybody, or you can add them to your links list, the people that you're going to follow. And we're going to go over the Utah State Standards for Visual Arts, talk about what a critique is not and what a critique is, and then we'll critique the work that you guys have submitted, and then you'll take the critique quiz, and then you'll vote for a winner. Those are our plans. So first, let's announce the winner of the Create an Artist blog assignment. And so everybody, drum roll. And the winner is, oh, well, we have a tie for second place. So I wanted to congratulate Bailey's blog, and I also wanted to congratulate our other second place winner, Not from the Lion King. And then, of course, we have to announce our first place winner, who is, congratulations, Abigail, AJ Lorraine's blog spot. So you guys can go and check those out. And there were some blogs as I was going through and grading, and my apologies, you might have the most incredible blog in the world, but just if I had already graded yours, I probably it didn't make it on here. So these were the submissions that I was getting later and hadn't graded yet. But Jazz's art pad was one that I really liked because of the fact that she had highlighted famous artists have inspired me to create my own kind of artwork that I'm going to share with the rest of the world. I will also make posts called Weekly Highlights, where I choose a piece of art and analyze it. I will have a monthly quote as well, so make sure to look out for these future posts. But in the meantime, here's the quote for the month. The greatness of art is not to find what is common, but what is unique, by Isaac Bashevis. And so I thought, well, isn't that wonderful, the way that she is planning what she is going to use this blog for. And I think that's great from the perspective of being an artist and growing and developing. Awesome blog. Another one that I liked was A Mark on Time. Very cool background. And this is just captivating, this picture of the student with her father when she was younger. Apparently this father has been encouraging her to do art for a very long time, and it's just very personal, and I liked it. So the message there is pretty sweet. Here's one of our winners, Not from the Lion King. And I thought that this was a really good example to share because the student actually is posting their work like I told you to. So yay, bravo. So look at that. Isn't that awesome? And talking about it. So there's captions. I'm pretty sure that we're supposed to post our assignments. I'm not all that proud of these, but whatever. And that's great to say. At the end of it, I'll have a picture of a drawing I did this week that wasn't for the assignment. And so there is the assignment, and then there's this really cool picture that wasn't for the assignment. And I just absolutely love that. And then there's a caption here. And then there's this is Harold. Some personal things. Harold is a horny toad. Found him when I was out and about. So there's a lot of personality to this blog. It's really cute. And then we have obsessed with drawing. And boy, you can probably guess why I like this. The student is posting their artwork on here. These are past works. It's very cool. I love it. So pretty sweet. This kid's got some class. Thank you for reading and viewing my drawings. I look forward to gaining an even richer appreciation of art during this class. Tamara Gerritson's blog. So this is fun. I love this picture and this introduction. I love photography. I had a job where I helped these people with their online clothing store. I was a picture taker. We took pictures of the clothes for them to post on Instagram and sorted their clothing and helped package them to ship. What a fun job. And then she shows, here's some of my artwork. So look at that. Some really cool sketches. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. So that's fun. Love it. Not much and not the best, but it's just for fun, right? Right. And then we have our winner. And I really liked Abigail's site because she's posting her artwork, which is awesome. And I like this really spunky character that she's working with here. Nice. So good job on that. Congratulations. And here's another one that I liked. Look at posting the work from week 3 already. And hey, I was so pleased to see this. I tell you, you guys, I love to watch what you do in this class. I learned so much from you. And then a little bit about the student. Look at that painting the student did. That's so cool. So just tons of interesting things about each other. And I love reading them and getting to know you. Getting creative for fine arts. This student was one that enjoyed the cave painting and is posting their work just like I asked. Good job. This one's pretty cool because it's got the student sketches on it. I love it when you put your work on there. Another fun blog with the students' work. Here's a really well organized looking blog. It's got from start to finish. Here's what my assignment looked like. Very sweet. Some information. Oh, that's a great photo of those cats. That's really lovely. Nice. So you can see why I like these blogs. This person likes to draw roses. Anyway, we've got some really fun artists in this class, and it's cool to see what your, whoops, and there's me. I haven't had a chance to update mine, but I've had some I've been taking pictures, and I've got some things that I plan on posting. So anyway, that's that. So here's just a blog reminder. Post your artwork weekly. You can post anything else that you like, any stories about artists or artworks, anything that you want to post related to art. The purpose of the blog is to create an artist image so that when you have an opportunity to get work, you can send them to your blog and they can see what you do. Number 2, follow the person above you and below you on the student links list by leaving comments. So the list has changed and is changing as I'm getting more of the submissions from a lot of new students. So be paying attention to that the person above you or below you may change. You can continue to follow the person that you've been following. Just make sure you leave them some comments so that they are getting some feedback and having a dialogue with someone about what they're posting. And you can follow anyone that you like. So have fun with it. And then let's talk about the Utah Visual Arts Standards. There's 4 of them: making, perceiving, expressing, and contextualizing. So this one was a big making where the media that we were using was just basically pencil, eraser, and paper. So sketching and drawing. And you do need to use elements and principles of art, and we'll talk about that for a second. We're doing the perceiving process right now by critiquing the work that you all have submitted and evaluating it. And as far as expressing and creating meaning, this wasn't necessarily a meaningful project. There is meaning that you express when you are actually paying attention to the way light impacts objects. So there is some meaning in that, and contextualizing meaning, making connections with other aspects of life. But a sketch project really doesn't hit too hard on those, and that's okay. We don't have to hit every standard every time. What a critique is not. So you're here to do a critique, and I don't know if any of you had the opportunity to critique or not. It can be really stressful because the concern with the critique is people are going to say things or think things like, oh, it's ugly, oh, I don't like it. And that's not what a critique is, okay? It's not whether you like something or not. It's not whether you think it's pretty or not, okay? A critique is a four-step critical thinking process, okay? So the four steps are description, analysis, interpretation, and evaluation. Description is just, what do you see? What medium is it? Is it pencil? Is it paint? Is it pastel? Is it clay? Analysis is, what elements and principles of design were used in this? And then the interpretation is there a message? Evaluation, this is where you just are evaluating, did the artist successfully make shapes blend and create shadows on their objects? Did the artist use values from pure black to pure white with a variety of midtones? Did the artist follow the assignment directions? So once again, when you're evaluating, that's not like, oh, I like it, or it's ugly or pretty. It's based on a set of standards. So what elements of art are illustrated in this sketch? So this is a student submission. Do we see line? Yes, we see actually quite a bit of line. We see a little bit of outline, but this student has actually done a really good job of making sure it doesn't look like we just have a line around it. We have a line in the back that indicates the horizon. Shape, absolutely. So the outline of this is the shape of a circle, and then this right here is a shape. Now remember, shape is two-dimensional, okay? Form, which is down here at the bottom, for some reason this list that I love doesn't have form on it, but form is 3D. So yes, form, this is a sphere. This is a three-dimensional object, okay? Space, yes, we have lots of white space out here compared to the object space. The object is the positive space, and the rest of it is negative space. Value, so this is using those pure blacks, pure whites, and having that gradient of tones, and there is quite a bit of gradient. Look at, there's a gradient right here in the shadow. There is a gradient from this highlight through to this deep dark shadow that we're seeing on the other side. This is pure black here, as pure black as their pencil could probably get. We have a little bit of almost pure black down here. I probably would have liked to have seen some pure black in this area. That would have really grounded the sphere, to have some pure black down here underneath. Texture, there's a ton of texture in this, okay? All of this is texture, and we had talked about blending, and this is definitely a true sketch because it's not really fully blended. There are some areas I can see that there was blending, but if the student had gone in with a finger or something and blended, and an eraser and erased and blended, it's called rendering. This could have looked like a realistic three-dimensional sphere, like the one that we're kind of seeing down here at the bottom. And then color. This is a black and white grayscale image. So principles of design. So do we see pattern here? Definitely see some pattern in the way that the lines are all going in the same direction. Contrast, for sure. So we've got this contrast of this bright highlight with this dark shadow, so that white on black contrast. Emphasis, we see some emphasis here where it's really dark, and we see some emphasis where it's really light. Balance, feels definitely balanced. I think I'm going to talk about this a little bit more further later on. So these are the principles of design. Let me go ahead and go further in my slideshow. I forget that I kind of talked about this. Okay, so we're just going to go through the 4 steps of the critical thinking process of the critique. So the first step was description, and that's just, what do you see? Well, I see a sphere that has been sketched with pencil, with a shadow across a surface, and there's a horizon line behind it. So that's basically what you see. Analysis. So this is where you talk about what elements and principles. So I went in and talked about, I just picked a few of the elements that I saw. Form. It's a round three-dimensional object. Shape. The shadow is two-dimensional. Value. I see bright white highlights on the sphere, pure black shadows, and a variety of midtones that give it a three-dimensional feel. Principles of design use, the contrast, the bright highlight contrasts with darker shades of gray. The bottom of the sphere contrasts with the lighter tones in the shadow. So you'll notice that this bottom of this sphere is darker than this shadow. Usually you perceive of a shadow being the darker part, but what's happening here is that light actually reflects off the table onto the object and ping back onto the table, and the lightness on the sphere reflects back onto the shadow and makes it lighter. If you ever sit and really pay attention to shadows and the way light hits things, you'll notice that it's not as like regular and what you would expect. There's a lot of variation. Proportion. So the size and the shape of the shadow is proportionate to the sphere. Balance. The shadow hugs the base of the object and creates a sense of balance. So I noticed there were a couple of shadows that just barely touched the object. They didn't really hug it so much. So the object didn't really feel like it's sunken down into that surface. That's okay, no worries. What's the message? Well, to me, the message is that the artist is actually seeing what's in front of them. They're not just making it up. I believe that this artist is really seeing, paying attention to the details, the way light hits an object, the way the light reflects off of the object back onto the shadow, and the way the light on the table reflects back up onto the object. It's light up here. You would expect that to be pure black, but light actually hits this area here and makes it a little lighter. Evaluation. So this is that step where you evaluate whether the artist was successful in whatever objective it was they were accomplishing. Did the artist successfully use the elements and principles of design? I believe so. Did the artist shade and blend? I think the artist definitely did a great job of shading. I think there could be some more blending here to make it look more realistic. And did the artist create a shadow? Yes. Did the artist use value? Yes. What step of the critique process simply describes the medium, the subject matter, and what is seen? Is that description, analysis, interpretation, or evaluation? Ding ding, description, yay! What step of the critique process describes the use of pattern, color, and space in artwork? Analysis. So this is when you're getting into those specific elements of art, such as pattern, color, space, value, contrast. That's analysis, right? What step in the critique process takes a deeper look at the meaning behind it? That's the interpretation piece. And then the step of the critique process that assesses whether the artist successfully conveyed the meaning through the use of the elements and principles of design. And that successful piece, was the artist successful at achieving their goal? That's the evaluation. Yes. Okay, so let's go ahead and critique. We're just going to take a look at everyone's work. I might have some comments, but I generally like to just give you that space to process for yourself. So I did share a couple of the sketches. This was a really good example of the students who did their first sphere, and great blending. Good job, nice shadow. The only thing I want to point out to everybody is that in real life, there is not a dark line around objects, okay? So over here, where this is white, this line should actually be erased. In the background, create a different tone, create a different value in the background, so that when that white edge hits it, you see that contrast, and that's an implied line then. your eye will fill in the blank. So this dark line should disappear. And here's the second one. Does it look more refined than the first? I guess it does a little, it looks a little more refined. I definitely like that there's a little more highlight here. The light's coming at a different angle here. It looks good. The pointillism looks fantastic. Try not to mix lines in your pointillism. Let the points and the dots themselves tell the story. So get rid of those lines. It should just be points. This cross-hatching is wonderful. If you actually watch the videos, they told you when you cross-hatch, to cross-hatch in the direction of the shape, which this person did marvelously. Thank you. And this person cross-hatched their shadow. I saw a lot of people cross-hatching the object, but then the shadow would be sketched. So that doesn't go together. And that's also something I noticed here is there's pointillism in both the shadow. It should be whatever you choose, do it. And then, yeah, lighten that line up. Get some cross-hatching going in the background to create a value system back there that white can contrast against. Another great example. So, you know, if you just kind of squeeze your eyes closed a little bit so that it's a little bit blurry and hazy for you, you can really start to envision the realism of it. Part of the reason why they don't look as realistic as they could, though, is because of this line. I mean, that is a stylistic feature, though, but I'd love to see you guys get to the point where you're not having that line around your objects. And once again, if this had just been dots without those lines, that would have been awesome, not to mix. And then this person did their cross hatching and did a little bit of blending with their cross hatching. When you cross hatch, you don't need to blend. Let those cross hatches do the talking. That's what's kind of cool about them. And they're usually in ink. And so is pointillism. Another really cool example. So I actually am really appreciating the painterly feel of this sketch right here. It actually feels like paint. It's pretty cool. And this cross-hatching, the way that it follows the shape of the object, brilliant, good. Erase that line, get rid of that line. Think that on this sphere here, we could probably use a lot more dark and around that area here to create that three-dimensional feel. The sphere is looking a little flat with that pointillism one. But good job. Those were some excellent examples. And here's another one. You could tell if you just kind of erase that line around it, that would give it a really nice feel. And you might have to fill in with some more points, but this was a student that did their warm-up and their final object on the same paper. So this is for all you folks out there that have been turning in really weird submissions where like you did a bunch of different sketches on different papers and you submitted like, not kidding, 14 files to me. Please remember I have 350 students that I grade for, so please be very careful about what you submit to me. Make sure that if I tell you to put it all on one piece of paper, please do. I know I was expecting 2 separate pieces, but I actually like the economy of the fact that this student was able to do it all on one because I only had to open up one file, which was very helpful. But nice job on this. I think that the shadow underneath probably needs to be developed a little bit more just because you did do great on the value. You've got pure black and pure white, and that shadow also would have those values in it as well. So just work on getting some more shading in that. Make sure when you take your photographs that they have a lot of contrast on them. So you might have to change the lighting in the room, change the camera angle in order to get a good shot because we can't see this one. And then, yes, make sure that you're following all of the directions. So when we talk about doing the warm-up, make sure that the warm-up was the 4 spheres, step by step. And I'm just going to let you guys take a look. So in my mind, whenever I'm looking at the artwork, I'm thinking, my eye just automatically goes, I wonder where could I have shaded that? How could I have changed the shape of that? How could I have blended that to make that look a little more realistic? Maybe that's origami. All right, so everybody make sure that you read the comments in your grade book. I left quite lengthy comments for you, and they're not intended to be rude or anything like that. I am merely here to offer suggestions of how you can improve your form. If you didn't get a perfect score, please make any improvements necessary and resubmit for full credit. Come and see me in the classroom if you need help. I'm there Monday through Thursday, 12 to 1, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 to 4, and we'll have our Friday blog spot today from 1:30 to 2:30. None of the classes are mandatory unless you've been specifically requested. Haven't gotten there yet, still working on getting my grades updated. And once they are, I will be sending out requests to students to come in and see me. This concludes our critique. So the next thing you're going to do is take the critique quiz and vote for a winner. And what you're going to do is you'll notice that the PowerPoint with um, all of, maybe I'm going to make it a PDF so you can't make changes to it, but a PDF with all of the student work will be there. There'll be a number on each slide. And so you'll just go ahead and enter in the number of the piece that you would like to be the winner. And we'll announce the winners at our next critique. And I just thought this was a cute poem. So take a moment to read that. Yay. So have a great weekend, everybody.